Hi, Karen Cray Parker here with your weekly Human Design Evolution Report. I feel like I'm a broken record lately. I feel like I keep saying the same things to you over and over again, but I really want to anchor this deeply in your consciousness because the work we do right now, especially in this sort of opening that we're in between now and October, is just so essential. We are in this cycle that is really setting the tone for us to rewrite and redefine our personal narrative. You're a storyteller. You were literally born a storyteller. You learned everything you learned about life first and foremost through stories. The values you embrace, the identity you hold for yourself came to you first through narrative, hopefully on the lap of a loving adult who shared with you the who, what, where, when, and how of life through fairy tales and stories and picture books and beyond that, even greater, richer stories. You translated your own cadence of your own story into the narrative you tell about who you are. You took your life experiences and you made your own story. And if you're like most people on this planet, the story you tell about who you are isn't only just influenced by your own experiences, it's influenced by cultural conditioning, by the narratives of the belief systems your families held, the things you learned from your teachers in the world. And for a lot of us, the stories we tell about who we are, they're just frankly lies. They're lies that limit us, that hold us back, that keep us from really accessing the bigness of who we truly are. We're in this cycle where there's, the outer planets, which really hold the entire structure for our personal evolution and our collective evolution in place. The outer planets are slowly retrograding on a massive level. And by the time we get to September, just about every significant outer planet that sets the tone and the direction for our collective evolution will be in a retrograde cycle. That means we're in this deep inner contemplative cycle, this cycle that really invites us to explore what has come before. And because so much of this exploration is really about asking ourselves what is true and what is truth, we're really having to go back through history and reclaim the truth. And not only reclaim the truth, but rewrite and untangle or disentangle us from old, destructive, dark, if you will, karmic patterns that hold us back from telling a collective story that embraces the possibility of us coming together in a just, equitable, sustainable, abundant, and peaceful world. We can't go forward until we go back. We can't go forward until we go back and find the truth in the narratives of the past, in the stories and the experiences of the past, and we tell the truth. And from that place of truth, we write a narrative of the future that embodies what we really want to be creating. If we're not looking at reality, if we're not owning and accepting and being present to the truth, then part of what's happening for us is we run the risk of retelling an old narrative, a lie, a collective lie, personal lies about who we are that keeps us small, that keeps us shut down, that keeps us locked away from the full potential for us to activate our full potential in the future as we grow forward. So this cycle of storytelling right now is so important, and it's causing us to have to pick up every little archetype, every little thread, every little part of the narrative we've been telling ourselves about who we are and really evaluating, is this true? Is this really true? And if it's not true, it's not about guilt or shame or beating ourselves up. It's about taking ourselves to the bathroom mirror and looking at ourselves eye to eye and saying, okay, this is what's true. This is what really happened. And that truth becomes the springboard, the catalyst for creating something different, for creating something that really is more worthy, more true, if you will, that better defines the potential for each and every one of us individually and for our collective story. So this is kind of the subtext of what's happening, if you will, on the outer planet level. That's that big, giant pause that we're in, that narrative pause that is inviting us to say, okay, what are the real elements in the narrative? What really happened? That is being highlighted for us on a major planetary level until October. On a very personal level, because your story, your personal story, is an essential part of the whole. The story you tell about who you are adds to the story of who we all are together. So your personal story really, really matters. You're a part of a puzzle. And puzzles are only as beautiful as the sum total of their pieces. And if you're not telling a story that's big enough, bold enough, true enough about yourself, it's not only impacting you, it's impacting the world. That's how important you are. And that's how important your narrative is. So as we look at this cycle that we're in and we look at what's getting highlighted, we're being individually given an invitation to ask ourselves, well, what narrative am I telling about myself? And if I do a retrospective on my personal life, is the story, the experiences, the perspectives that I have, are they true? Are they real? Are there things that need to be healed? Are there stories that need to be rewritten to make them better aligned with the truth of who we are? That's our theme this week in a big way, with the sun transiting in the gate 56, moving, really giving us this sort of impetus to explore possibilities, to, through the power of our imagination, to really tell, or begin to at least start to tell, a new story about who we are, a new story that better encompasses the truth. That story this week, because we've got Mars and Venus sort of floating through some pretty intense relationship energies, inviting us to ask ourselves, have we committed to relationships that really support our value, that really support our direction? Are we committed and devoted to the right things, the right people, the right commitments? And really asking ourselves, is your energy going towards what you really want? Or have you been conditioned to say yes to something you really want to say no to? Or say no to something you really want to say yes to? We're being invited this week through narrative to line our yeses up with the passion and the power of our soul. Saturn this week is in the gate 19, the gate of attunement. Now, this energy of attunement, emotional attunement, is so important that in the dance between an infant and its primary caregiver, that dance of an infant being and a parent being emotionally dialed in and tuned into each other is so essential that if that dance is not healthy, it actually impacts the development of the frontal cortex. Think about that for a minute. So our attunement is something that is essential for us to be able to craft for ourselves true intimacy, true support, health and wellness, the possibility of and the importance of creating around us a team of people that have their hands on our back, who can stand in the gap for us when we don't have faith for ourselves. We need good, high quality support systems to keep us moving forward, especially to keep us taking giant leaps of faith when we don't see the evidence yet of what it is we're trying to create. So Saturn is saying, hey, take stock. Is your relationship really doing what you want it to do? Are your friends, the people you've surrounded yourself with, are they really dialed in and tuned into your needs? Are your emotional needs being met? And of course, also, are you really doing a good job meeting the emotional needs of the people in your life? This is the pathway to true intimacy. And certainly with Saturn in this position, it's inviting us to clarify, are our relationships a reflection of our value and our values? And of course, if they are, Mars and Venus says, great, commit to them. And if they're not, Mars and Venus are sort of saying, time to push the pause button. Time to either have really hard and important dialogues about, hey, I need to get my needs met in a better way, or time to say, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Or time to say, hey, I'm really starting to get from you what I've really been wanting all my life. How can we deepen our connection? How can we deepen our relationship? So a really important week this week in terms of telling yourself a story, writing a narrative literally that supports you in being worthy enough to be loved, to be supported, to receive everything you need to really feel like you can go out in the world with hands on your back, with a community of people behind you who celebrate you and who are eager and excited to hear your stories of success and fulfillment. The Earth this week grounds us in the gate 60, the gate of conservation, reminding us that a key element in innovation, a key element in changing our personal stories, our narratives, is gratitude. You can't change a situation you hate if you're hating on it. If you're really focusing all your energy, and focus is a big theme of our nodes right now. If you're focusing your energy on how much you hate something, how wrong it is, how icky it is, and how much you don't like it, Because focus creates, including it creates zest and enthusiasm, the more you focus on what you hate, the more that hatred, that thing you hate expands. So the 60, we are grounded this week in the 60 energy that says, if I want to change something in my life, including my relationships, if I want to make a change, I have to first start with looking for the things that are working, the things that are good. And I need to focus my attention there because it's gratitude that's the currency for innovation, not hatred. And it's very interesting to note, and this is where I'm going to leave you because I want this to plop into your thoughts. Sometimes the narratives we tell about our partners and our partnerships are really a reflection of our own lack of self-worth. I find it fascinating that sometimes when we start to look for what we do love about our partners, what is working in our partnerships, and we start to really appreciate the people in our lives, the power and the dynamics of the relationship change dramatically. And the question is, what changed? Was it your partner that changed? Or was it your perspective that changed? And so I want to really encourage you, before you burn the bridge down, before you let your own struggles with your own sense of value, your own worthiness to receive support and intimacy, before those little elements in your narrative that need to change, before they get in the way of you seeing maybe the love that is there for you, shift your focus for a second and notice what is working. Where is the love? Where is the support? What is good in your partnerships, in your relationships? Start there and see if that doesn't give you some insights into what really needs to change next. Have a great week. Take good care of yourselves. I will talk to you all next week.